Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please.
Blair.
Here.
Broughton.
Here.
Yapalma.
Here.
Marshall.
Yes.
Thurman.
Here.
Unreal.
Here.
Rumble.
Here. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob.
Second.
I think, Dana, did you say something? Or?
Someone.
That one page was revised, so should anything on the agenda be revised? I didn't.
No, it should
No,
already
just
be
replacing
changed.
that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't check the numbers.
Okay, so
here. Thank
you were just asking the question, so Kathy, you have a second then?
Yes, I was
Okay.
asking a question.
All right. Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That brings us into our reports. We have the treasurer report there, general ledger report. I did not have a designated report this month. Reconciliation report, building department report, Parks and Rec. I did not receive a report this month. And then senior center report. Faye, do you want to say anything?
So we have set rocking and raking for April 23rd. So I started working on that today, getting the papers printed so that we can get them out to the homeowners and the different places for volunteers. And I also got the nomination forms for the BGYA for the youth that participated in it last year. So I'll be working on those. And we, as you've probably saw in the Citizen, we've started a new volunteer program to pair seniors with different volunteers in the community that are willing to go. Say they can't go out and get their mail, so the volunteer would go get their mail and take it up to the house for them, or just run to the grocery store and pick up milk or bread or eggs or whatever for them. So I'm working on that too.
Good.
Good.
That's a good idea.
All right, thank you, Faye.
Yep.
CDBG report, Rosalind, do you want to say anything on that?
I do. I just wanted to mention that our spending performance for Brandon Township is 0.16, so that's pretty good. I'm excited about that.
Nice work getting that caught up.
Thank you.
Trustees report, we'll start down there with Kathy.
Okay. Mine's a little long today. My committees did not meet in January, but on January 19th, I attended a free virtual MTA meeting on meeting management. Most of it was a repeat of a prior class I took, but the takeaways from the meeting was virtual board meetings were extended from March of 21 to December of 21, but are no longer allowed unless you are on military duty. Attorneys and other guests, though, can remote in if necessary, but the board members must meet in person. There was some discussion on Open Meetings Act and posting requirements, and meetings can be recessed for up to 36 hours. I thought that was interesting. That's a long time to recess a meeting. On January 20th, I attended the MTA quarterly meeting, which featured a discussion on emergency preparedness. Sheriff Bouchard was the guest speaker but couldn't make it, so the discussion wasn't as informative as I was hoping for, although Supervisor Curtis from Oxford Township was able to give us some insight on how the emergency there was handled, and that was beneficial. On February 1st, I went to the Orion Municipal Complex open house. They were able to build a new facility without using township, or without raising taxes for the township. And it's a new municipal building for township offices and also a substation for the Oakland County Sheriffs. And Sheriff Bouchard was there and he was feeling better. And that's it.
All right, Steve?
I went to the same quarterly meeting. I won't repeat what she said. It was about the same emergency management, and planning commission meeting is tomorrow. That's it.
Thank you, Steve. Bob?
Nothing.
Dana?
None of my committees met, so I have nothing to say. Happy February already.
Okay, thank you. Scott?
Very little. Taxes, we've got one more week here, so things have been picking up quite a bit here in the past week or so. It'd be nice to have those over with. Taxes are due February 14th. You can pay them in our office through the 28th, even though they will be delinquent after the 14th. Beginning March 1st, you have to pay them at the county. You can get paperwork from us from March through the end of March to pay them at the county, and then after that, you have to just go to the county and get the paperwork from them. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Rosalind?
Good evening. Thank you for attending the board meeting for Brandon Township. Brandon Township has received reimbursement from Brandon School District in the amount of $21,168.10. This reimbursement is from the special election held on November 2nd, 2021. The Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission, Election Commission released their final maps. As of now, Brandon Township's U.S. Congressional District is moving from the 8th District to the 9th District. State Senate from the 14th District to the 24th District. State Representative from the 3rd District to the 66th District. And starting in 2023, County Commissioner from the 3rd District to the 7th District. There is talks about the maps that were released. They could violate the Voting Rights Act, and the final maps could end up in litigation. On February 10th, Oakland County Parks and Recreation will be hosting a fireside chat with Carol Egbo. She's a historian for Oakland County. The fireside chats will be held via Zoom. You could find the link on the Oakland County Parks and Recreation Facebook page, or at facebook.com/OC Parks. This month's topic is the Underground Railroad and Medicine Acres.
Thank you. For me today, I had a meeting with the Holly Township, Groveland Township, Holly Township, Groveland, Ortonville, Village of Ortonville, and Brandon Township with County Executive this Monday. We were asking for funds for our sewer project that we're trying to be a part of. So I think the meeting overall went well, and we'll see where it goes from there, but we were trying to get some of the county's ARPA funds to pitch in on that. But they were impressed with the presentation that was presented to them. We've scheduled our township cleanup days. Those are going to be June 11th and August 6th this summer. Those will be at the Township Park. And assessment notices will be going out by the end of the month. And that was it. All right. That brings us to correspondence, and there wasn't any in the packet this month. Citizens' comments on agenda items only. Look like anybody's got anything to say. Discussion, there are no discussion items. That brings us to our consent agenda that had,
I just wanted to say that everyone has a revised consent agenda.
okay. It's just that one sheet.
Yep.
Yep. Regular meeting minutes of 1:10:21, special meeting minutes of 1:31:21. Regular bills in the amount of $1,600 and, nope, that's not correct, $9,493. And prepays in the amount of $287,165.91. And benefits from payroll, $35,111.85. And trustee timesheets, $972. Any questions on that? All right, can look for a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob.
Second.
Thank you, Steve. All right, because we're spending money, we'll go ahead and roll call that, please.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Rumbo.
Yes, motion carries. No unfinished business. That brings us right into our new business. And the first item that we have, Detective Sergeant Hubble is here as well on behalf of this motion. Lieutenant Glover and I he came to me asked me to ask the board to move the substation's part-time clerical staff member up to the top of their wage scale for part-time clerical. She did just get a raise for the next, not election, for the next year. Today was her 1-year anniversary. But he is asking that we move her up to the top of that scale now. And as her department head, he's allowed to ask for that, and according to the township policies. So I do have a suggested motion on here, and I'll let Sergeant Hubble, got him, said Glover, sorry. Sergeant Hubble, if there's something to say about this. I know. Go ahead.
I'm here on behalf of Lieutenant Glover with Oakland County Sheriff's Office. As the supervisor said, today is our 1-year anniversary, so I think it's only a bump in 1 in the pay scale.
To the top of the scale,
Yeah, to the top of the pay scale. She does handle all of our in-house chronos. She works an average of 20 hours a week. Some weeks it's 25, other weeks it's 15. Ends up being right around 40 every 2 weeks. She handles all of our in-house payroll also, along with a lot of other duties, and she does a good job at the front desk. She's an asset. We don't want to lose her.
And we do have the full amount necessary to provide for that increase, and we do not need a budget amendment for that.
Has anyone made the motion?
No.
I will make the motion.
Are we?
Thank you, Bob.
I have a few things I'd like to say. One,
Well, I'll second it first before you do
Okay.
that. Go ahead.
up till now, is even when I was just attending meetings in the audience, I don't recall changing an individual's wage without doing it across the board. I don't believe that we have any policy in place that says we're going to start doing merit-based wage increases versus just what is based on the amount of time that you're putting in.
This doesn't say anything about merit-based.
Well, it is. It's your managers coming and saying, "Hey, I don't want to follow the time scale. I want to move her up ahead of time," and if that's going to, what kind of chaos is that going to create in our office? What about everyone else? You know,
I don't have anybody in my office that's not at the top of the pay scale, but I don't know.
I do.
If you don't mind, I would like to make a comment. Is that okay? Did you guys have anything else to say, or?
No, it doesn't look like it. Go ahead.
Scott?
No, it just, like I said, it sets a precedent moving forward as well. So
It's happened in the past, and it's been brought to the board several times.
I'm not aware of that.
It has, because I had looked at a couple of the motions to actually draft this motion. So it has happened in the past.
Okay.
Okay, so I do have to say this, and I've said it a million times. Our police department, our fire department make our community a great place. I am very thankful for all of them and what they do and what they continue to do. Both departments do a fabulous job. With that said, when I look at this motion that's being presented tonight, we really need to look at the township as a whole. Currently, there's 4 part-time employees. I can only speak for my department. I know that my employee goes above and beyond in the clerk's office. I'm sure that the employee at the substation does a great job, or this motion would not be presented tonight. In the past, the board has discussed how low our wages are compared to the surrounding communities. We do need to evaluate our township wages and possibly bring that up. If we are looking to change wages for one part-time clerical, we do need to look at that across the board at all of the part-time clerical staff and full-time wages too. I think that this is more than meets the eye, and I just, that's all I have.
Okay. I'll just respond quickly that our policy does allow this, so it does not have to be across the board. Go ahead, yeah.
My question, which I brought up to Jason before, was I just thought if we're doing something, we should include the person's last name in the motion.
Yep,
Just-
I responded to that as
Yes.
well. That's also not required, but I don't care either way. We can put her last name in there, I don't mind. Well, who made the motion? Bob did?
Yeah.
Anybody
I
else
would,
have-
but I don't know her last name.
It's Patterson.
All right. Yeah, I would amend the motion to include the last name of Patterson.
And just to respond to Rosalind and Scott, I know where you're coming from. I agree that it does send a precedent to the other part-time employees. And I know it's been done in the past, but we did have a wage increase. All the clerical did receive pretty, I think, 6% 2 years ago, or the year before Jason started. So wages did go up a little bit for them. But yeah, we can always look at our wages. And I don't know if did the employee complain about
No,
the
this
wages?
is from Lieutenant Glover. It's
Yeah.
not anything to do with her, to my knowledge anyway. Has that happened?
She's an asset, and she is looking at, she's been offered a couple other positions out of here, and it would be really hard for us to have to replace her, retrain her, have to bring her up to speed. So that's why we asked, so we could try to
Again,
retain her.
that would be true for my employee as well, though.
Chase, can I ask a question? Is this 1834 what her wage was like yesterday, or is it what
That's
her wage
her-
went to today?
Correct. Today.
1834 is what it went to today?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
That was my only question.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Does the handbook state that we can,
Not here.
huh?
That's the wage scale
Yeah, does the handbook states that we can,
that a department head can ask for an increase in a
Okay.
step, yes. All right, I will go ahead and ask for a roll call on that then, please.
Blair,
No.
Broughton,
No.
DePalma,
yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
No.
Unruh,
No.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion is defeated. Okay, that brings us into our next motion, which is the resolution to approve Crown Castle Fiber LLC's Metro Act permit. Stewart has reviewed this and said it's something that we need to approve. So does anybody else have any questions on that?
I do.
I have
Oh,
some. Go ahead. I have some too. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, the only question I have is, it appears we're approving something before we actually know where the locations of
Yeah.
this is.
No, if you look on there, it says that it has to be updated. It's contingent. Let me find it.
I don't see that, and it did say
On there.
on the back on J, it says 2 copies of the map depicting the location of existing and proposed facilities, Exhibit A, and I could not find that anywhere.
So number 2 says this approval is conditioned upon Crown Castle providing A, an updated route map of the facilities located in the township right-of-ways, and B, a certificate of workers' compensation insurance. So
Right.
he was okay with it pending us receiving updated of those.
So are you going to bring it back to us then? Because what if we don't like where it's going?
No,
'Cause
if they don't provide us that, then we won't allow them to do it.
But then even if they provide it, we don't agree with,
where it's going to go.
if we don't agree with where it's gonna go, then we're stuck with it?
If it's in the right-of-way, we can't not agree with it.
Well,
He just
how-
wants a better idea of the explanation. They're allowed to construct in the right-of-way.
I guess my concern is a similar concern to what I had with the park pathway, the trails.
Okay.
Because that was on the right of way also, partly.
That was on easements through ITC corridor. but-
Right, partly, but then it also went through really close to people's homes. So that's what I'm getting at, is I feel really uncomfortable saying, yes, we're gonna do this, and not having a location.
Well,
Yeah.
they did provide a location to Stewart, and Stewart reviewed them and then said he requested those, so, I don't know. The township attorney approved this with that contingency in it.
Yeah, my major question too is where are they going and what do they look like? I know a lot of people have, we have these huge ordinances on what our buildings have to look like. So what is this gonna look like and do to, and then also, is it gonna be close to somebody's house? I know some people are concerned about the waves and all that stuff? And then is it gonna take away from our cell tower funding? So I have those three major concerns, and I'd like anything answered before I approve it.
Well, we'll have to ask Stuart on those.
I'm
Well,
curious, why,
maybe-
if Stuart had it, why didn't he forward it along with this? Do you know?
I don't.
Okay.
Maybe he should just come to the next meeting so these questions could get answered.
We really can't stop it, but if you guys want him to come, then that's fine. That's what we'll do.
I don't
I
have.
mean, they're allowed to do it under the Metro Fund Act.
It seems to me, and I'm not for or against this, I would like to know what and where they're wanting to place something, but it seems to me this popped up in Goodrich a few years ago, and although, yes, there's a right-of-way that we can't restrict, there ended up being a problem with where they were trying to place a pole or something in it, and they ended up voting it down, ultimately. I'll have to go look into that further. But just to say that, yeah, come on in and start doing whatever you want, it just seems a little open to me.
Well, it's not what's happening, but I understand what you're
Well, I
saying.
know, but Jason, we don't have all the same discussions that you have with these people, and so
Okay.
you have to explain this to us here.
There's nothing to explain, but I will get to the
Really,
questions
there
that you
is.
guys have answered,
Thank you.
even though we can't prevent it.
It would just give me a warmer, fuzzy feeling.
I know, that's why Stuart put the contingency in there, but I understand. I understand what you guys are
Thank you, I
saying.
appreciate that.
I'll make a motion to postpone this item to our next meeting.
Support.
If we have answers.
All right, so we have a motion and second. And that one, I guess we don't really need a roll call, so all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, the next item is the medical marijuana permit and property owner consent forms. This, Stuart, myself, and the building department have been trying to come up with a permit for this. What you have here is the permit that was proposed. However, Stuart and I went back and forth on the pricing of the permit, and he just had a flat fee of $250 in there. And I talked with him and asked him if we could do that be the minimum, and then if they had all 6 patients, that it should be $100 a patient, or anything over 3, it would be $100 for each additional patient.
Is that per
So per year, yes, it's a yearly fee. That would be my recommendation. The rest of it is from Stuart. So
I like that idea much better.
I didn't feel like $250 was enough
That's a
for
good
all the
idea.
work that we're gonna have to put into it.
And it's every year, so if someone goes from 4 to 6 patients, then they have to pay an additional fee, correct? They
Correct.
can't just say, okay, I got 3, and then get 6.
Yeah,
and not
250
come
gets
back
them
pay the
3, and
fee.
then if they're over that, then they're at 4 and
Okay,
up to 600. So, because they can have them 5 patients and themselves. And this is only in the 2 districts that we approved it in, the general industrial and the C4. So we have to have a permit. Nobody has asked for a permit yet, luckily, but we have one now if we
And-
approve this.
How will this affect existing residential?
The goal is to then proceed against them to try to stop that. But we cannot restrict anybody growing for just themselves.
Right.
It would only be caregivers.
So my other question is, you just want this one resolution passed for both?
Yep.
Okay, because on here,
Yep.
I can go ahead and make. the
Stuart
motion.
didn't draft a resolution, I drafted it and sent it to him, and he approved it. So,
I can make a motion.
okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution of the Charter Township of Brandon regarding medical marijuana caregiver locations and consent as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Kathy, thank you, Steve. Anybody else have any questions on that? Okay, we'll go ahead and roll call this one.
DePalma,
yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. All right, and then this is the second reading of the township logo ordinance. So I'm just bringing it back for the second reading. There was no changes to the previous one.
So I'll make a motion to approve The amendment to the Code Ordinances, Chapter 1, to add Section 1 through 13, a provision regarding Charter Township of Brandon Service Mark Designation and Protection Ordinance.
Thank you, Dana.
I'll second.
Thank you, Kathy. And because it's an ordinance, we'll go ahead and roll call that too.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. And that brings us to our last item, Rosalind.
We are having to fill a part-time position for our senior center. It is for van drivers. And this part-time position is to take residents to doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, delivering meals, and helping with Focus Hope Commodities and other food programs. This position was posted in the Citizen newspaper on December 18th, 2021, and January 8th, 2022.
I'll make the motion as presented.
I'll support it.
I'll sec. Did
Oh,
someone
already good.
second?
Yep, we're good.
Oh, okay.
Got
All right.
Dana. Because of our hiring and involves wages, we will do a roll call, please.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us back.
I would like to, Tony asked that I would read a letter to the board he gave me, so I would like to share that with everyone. It says, "Dear Clerk Blair, please forgive me for my absence this evening, but I wish to convey my gratitude towards the Brandon Township Board as well as Faye Bendig, Edna Burton Senior Center Coordinator, for the opportunity to further assist the citizens of Brandon Township in the village of Ortonville as a part-time transportation driver." He says that he formally accepts the position listed above and that he's looking forward to his start date on February 11th, 2022, pending the passing of a Department of Transportation drug screening.
Did he have an alternative letter?
No, but that's why I didn't put it in
That's why she didn't read it first.
Rosalind, doesn't he help out with the Parks and Rec Department?
He does.
And it's not going to affect his time on that? I mean, I
no.
know we already passed it, but I was just curious.
That
now
was
I
one
thought
of the
about it.
major questions that we had during the interview
Okay.
process, so.
Okay.
He just operates the lift station.
Okay.
He does more than
No,
that.
he shows
Does
up
he
in
do
here.
now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Now
going
he's
to say, I
doing
think he
more?
does more
He's
than
filled
that, as
in
long
the
as.
office and stuff too
Oh,
now.
has he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you weren't totally stealing him from Fred, that's all.
Well, he's only going to be able to do 20 hours between the two,
Two.
so if
Okay.
he's got a heavier week there, he'll drive less and vice versa.
Okay.
All right, any citizens' comments on anything?
For non-offensive?
Yep,
Okay, I do.
okay.
Hi, good evening. Marissa Prince, I live on Presidio. So I'm going to speak to you with the permission of my neighbors, Steve and I, St. Juliana, about their daughter Hannah, who was killed in the Oxford school shooting, and talk a little bit briefly about what we could possibly do to prevent this from happening to another family. Hannah would have turned 15 this past weekend. Hannah was very special and very sharp. She was our family babysitter. We miss her. My kids are grieving. The whole town is grieving. Hannah lived here in Brandon, and she had a really bright future. And when I think about what we could do as adults and as leaders at a local level, one idea I had was on the township letter that comes out with the tax statements. I don't know who drafts it, but it sometimes has some information about like hazardous disposal and invasive plants and things like that. I'm asking the board if we can add a line item about safe gun storage. I've talked to Lieutenant Glover, and he has gun locks available at the substation. I don't know if it would have prevented what happened in Oxford, but if someone were to read it and decide to obtain a free gun lock, it could save maybe someone from a gun suicide, an unintentional shooting. And, you know, we have an obligation to our children in our community to do anything we can to keep them safe and alive. Hannah should still be here. All those kids should still be here. This shouldn't have happened. So, in her memory, I'm asking that this is something the board might consider to add to the statements that go out with the taxes, the newsletter.
So, unfortunately, that's already gone to print for this year.
Okay.
So next year we can do that, but it won't make it to this year's because it's already at the printer.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to give it a little bit of time before I approached you about it because it's been such a difficult time. And I do want to thank the Oakland County Sheriff's Department, especially Greg Glover. He sat down and talked with me about Hannah's last moments. It was an incredible gift, and he's a very good man, and I'm really glad he was there that day. So, thank you.
What we
if I
can
may,
do also with board approval, though, is put a link to.
Yeah, we can put
a
that on
lot-
the website or
yeah.
something, for
Yeah, we
sure.
can put it on the website.
So it would go out with the assessment notices that you were talking about would go out?
No, this is.
No, those
I'm
are
saying-
already.
Oh, a link on the website now, yeah,
As
that's a
far as
great
information
idea.
for
Yeah.
obtaining a free gun lock, et cetera.
And
I don't think we need board approval for
We
that.
don't.
That's just
Yeah, we
administrative.
Yeah.
put it on
I
there.
just didn't want to be acting unilaterally there.
And possibly, I mean, if the sheriff's department is giving out free gun locks, maybe that's something we can let the people know through the newspaper.
The newspaper, our Facebook pages, I mean,
Yeah.
we can put them on Facebook, senior center, newsletter, yeah. I'd do anything to, I didn't know that the sheriff's department had it until Marissa called me yesterday asking what I thought about it, and I think it's a great idea.
And actually, I think they've had them free for years, right?
Yeah.
Are there any other citizens who'd like to make a comment? Okay, see none. Additional board comments, Kathy?
Just stay warm out there and watch out for ice, because things will be melting and then freezing.
Steve?
Stay warm, drive safe.
Scott? Nope. I don't have anything else tonight. Rosalind?
If you are interested in nominating a youth for Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance, you can now pick up the forms. The nomination forms are, you can get them at the clerk's office here at Brandon Township, or you can pick one up at Groveland.
What's a ute?
Ute. It's a ute.
Youth.
Youth.
It's a my cousin Vinny joke.
Bob?
Just a reminder to the gentlemen, February 14th is Valentine's Day. Make sure you stay out of Dutch by doing something for your significant other.
Dana?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. All right, that brings us to adjournment. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? I'll second it. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.